Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
And I'm your game bastard, Austin. This is Deathmatch Island. Perform with flair and bring the emotion. Get those followers smashing the like button. So this is a game of competitive survival. Like we said last time, it's kind of a cross between Squid Game and Battle Royale and Severance and Lost and...
Sure, but since those are copyrighted material, I like to refer to it as Octopus Sports.
Yes. Oh, okay.
I like that, actually.
Jellyfish competition.
Calamari contests.
And speaking of contests, these guys all fucked theirs up last time.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
But they're not the only ones, because I also fucked up the rules a little bit. But we fixed it right there at the end.
Okay.
But before we get into that, why don't you guys tell us who the fuck you are wearing your plum polos and shorts?
Well, I'm playing Morgan Castle, the nuclear engineer. He's cool. It's 2 nerd characters in a row for me.
Oh, yeah.
Just 2. Okay.
I'm Sebastian Usoro. Long striking hair, weird face because of goose.
Yes. You know, I realize Todd's most popular characters amongst our listeners are typically the Southern characters. Give me vaguely European Todd all day long.
Fuck yes.
Vaguely European.
Give
time.
me Todd Wusso every day of the week.
Oh. Where's he from? Europe. And I am Lincoln Hoffman. I'm an Aquarius. I work down at the tire plant. I'm a union member. I do not vote.
Solid.
Fucking typical.
That's against my religion.
I'm a union member. I do not vote. Sums up America so fucking hard right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, look, we are 6th-day Jehovah sightseers.
Oh, I see.
And it's a very unusual sect, but that is part of it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not Jehovah Witness. They're Jehovah Sightseers. They're just,
6th
just
day
stopping in.
Jehovah sightseers.
They're just tourists.
We're here for a little while, not a good while.
They dabble in Jehovah.
Yeah.
I am still searching for the meaning of religion. Have not found one that involves sacrificing goose yet.
Well, we can do blood transfusions. In fact, it's encouraged.
Pretty sure the Mormons do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to get a lot of followers that way.
Well.
And speaking of followers, each of you also need to make sure and mark 1 notch on your follower sheet. Even though you fail, you still get, 10,000 per notch?
Yes.
Yeah, you still gain a little bit of followers just for participating. That's your green ribbon. So the way this works is typically for each contest, if you are successful, you will mark a number of follower notches equal to the danger level of the location that you're in.
Oh, I see.
But if you fail, you still get 1.
It's like those people who follow YouTube accounts of children getting their ass kicked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, just covered in blood.
What?
Well, it's cathartic, Kyle. I don't watch the ones of kids getting beaten up, but anytime my child has trouble going to sleep, I do soothe myself in the end of the day by just watching kids getting scared of hibachi fire.
Jesus Christ.
That is very specific.
Just drink like the rest of us.
Yeah. Do a drug.
I'm experimenting.
Oh, put a drug in your face. What was
Corey's
that?
going to spank me.
Okay, so if I recall correctly, last time we were trying to infiltrate a group,
Leave it to the original
Yeah.
GM to have to get us back on track.
mislead them, steal stuff from them, and then run away.
Yeah, so you were facing off against Abthorpe, the cop, who has gathered a whole lot of competitors into his vast alliance. And as we know, you all failed. But the way these scenes work is we are still going to narrate the consequences of your actions. And we'll do it in the order that you rolled. So, Todd, I believe you rolled the lowest with a 6. Corey, you rolled a 7.
Yep.
And Kyle, you got an 11.
Yes.
All right. And Todd, you were on social game. Corey was rolling snake mode. And Kyle rolled his challenge beast, I think with something in reserve, right?
Deathmatch.
That's right. All right. So the way what this game calls confessionals works is that no matter what the result is, the players are basically going to be narrating their actions or their attempted actions in ascending order of the die result.
When I saw Puck stick his finger in that peanut butter, I just lost it.
Like that, right?
Yeah.
And so in between each of their narrations, I'll be kind of interjecting with the NPC's reactions to it. And this will ultimately kind of just build up to what happens in this scene. So, Todd, you can feel free to go first.
Okay, well, since Sebastian is using his social game, he steps forward and he tosses his hair. Wait, let me say that again because I actually tossed my head when I said that for some fucking reason and went off mic. He tosses his long, luxurious blonde hair and he turns profile because obviously his face is on the left side of his head, so he has to stand profile to look someone dead in the eye.
I forgot Todd was a Dick Tracy villain.
And he says, so, hey, what's up, new friends?
What the fuck is the matter with your face?
I got hit by goose. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Just put it all on Front Street.
I see you and your bros have all of these really cool guns and ammos and things, and I would like to ask if you have ever used those to shoot at goose.
Abthorpe leans over to his rightmost lieutenant and says, shoot him in the leg. And this guy who's wearing what looks like a construction uniform and hard hat pulls an Uzi from the messenger bag at his side and just kind of fires it at Sebastian's right leg and hits him in the knee. Todd, you're taking 1 injury from this.
Wait, no, perhaps you misunderstand. I am not Goose. I want to kill Goose.
I think we understand just fine, thanks. Something to remind everybody is that because Abthorpe is surrounded by his vast alliance, that makes any contest against him dangerous in this case. And anytime a contest is dangerous, when you fail, you take 1 injury.
Oh.
But, Todd, since you took the injury, you can mark off that fatigue.
Hey, I'm no longer tired. I'm just bleeding profusely and
Yay.
can't walk.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know, but something tells me that I think the guy that shot me is a big fan of former New York Yankee Goose Gossage.
So, Corey, you can go next.
Okay, sounds good. So Morgan using snake mode.
I like the expectation I get to set with you guys knowing you failed and still having to narrate it.
Used to this. So Morgan using snake mode. He knows that we have 0 supplies. He doesn't know much, but he knows that. And the first thing he scans closest to him is like a fairly like medium-sized burlap sack, probably about 2 feet away from him.
Okay.
So he slowly starts inching his left foot towards it to try to pull it towards him slyly because he knows there's some kind of supplies in it. And as he does, the top kind of pops open and he sees it's full of dead baby mice. Which he's not a big fan of, but
Well,
Sure.
but he's in snake mode and he knows food when he sees it.
I hope you're proud of yourself.
I'm not. Never. So yeah, essentially he's just trying to steal food.
Okay.
Dead baby mice. Because from what he knows about snakes, you only need 1 for like a month. Right? Why don't we eat them as people?
God, I just now realized you were literally doing snake mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corey's the ball python of the group.
He carries a heat lamp with him wherever he goes.
He is a very pale man, having been in a concrete bunker most of his career.
Well, originally, for a long time, Morgan Castle was 5'4", but then he moved into a bigger apartment and he was allowed to grow more. It was his late 30s, so it was,
Yeah.
you know.
It was a time. It was time.
Yeah.
God, I do not want to watch him molt.
The sound of a whip cracking snaps open the air around you, and Castle takes an injury as the whip snaps his hand away from the bag.
Ah, my metal carpals.
And he looks up, and there's this fairly raggedy-looking guy in what appears to be a fairly well-fitting suit. And he's just wearing a name tag that's one of those says, "Hello, my name is," and then it has Beckett scrawled across the chest. He says, "Oi, no stealing food."
I was going to share.
And he turns and says, "Abthorpe, these guys are trying to make away with the food." Abthorpe says, "Get them!"
No, sir, I only wanted a couple squeaky nuggets to get us through the nights.
And from all around you, you can start to see Alliance members closing in, drawing weapons, machine guns, machetes. Little did everyone know that another character rolled against Abthorpe's difficulty target number and passed. And so this is how you guys will formally meet Quincy, the one leading the rebellion on Island 1. Just as the guy with the whip, Beckett, starts to step closer to Morgan, you hear somebody from far off to your right shout, "Now!" And the woman and the 4 people that you saw huddling behind the boats earlier rises up, all of them wielding not machine guns and not machetes, but just simple pistols, and starts firing into the crowd.
Jack Klugman is leading the charge.
But then you notice it's not just them. It's 4 or 5 others who admittedly don't outnumber the alliance around you, but who are placed in strategic locations around the industrial port and are firing from kind of very effective sniper vantage points. And they do have rifles. And suddenly you find yourselves, without weapons, caught in the crossfire of a massive shootout. And suddenly you see the woman running towards you. She's wearing a white short lab coat, because don't forget, she's a veterinarian. And she's got 2 rebels on either side of her. And she says, "Follow me!" and grabs your arm and starts yanking you off to the left toward the open jungle area outside of the industrial port.
She grabs all of our arms with her squid-like abilities.
She and the rebels kind of seize hold of you and pull you off that direction.
Okay.
Yeah, Sebastian would need to be pulled because, once again, shot in the knee.
Yeah.
Morgan snatches up the bag of squeaky nugs as he...
Yeah. You see a couple of opportunities to make grabs for some equipment on your way out. There's a couple of crates nearby. You can see some ammo boxes near a set of concrete steps that lead up into the dirt path leading into the jungle. Kyle, now is a good time to see what Lincoln actually got up to with his challenge beast attempt.
So when the attack starts, Lincoln springs into action the only way he knows how, shouting, "Parkour!" and just running himself bodily into bad guys.
Oh, okay.
And just tackling them, not effectively. Usually both of them fall down, and it hurts Lincoln as much as it hurts them. But he just keeps doing it.
All right, well, I'll give you credit for trying, even though you did fail to, but just by the skin of your teeth. So
Run, you guys! I'll distract with parkour!
So he's trying to man parkour?
Yeah.
Bounce off men? Okay.
He doesn't know what parkour
I
means.
picture Kyle running headfirst into this crowd and just leaping spread eagle sideways into a group of people.
He's going to stage dive off a rock.
Yeah,
Parkour!
you take a couple slashes with a machete, mark 1 injury, but you do clear a path for the 3 of you and Quincy and her 2 rebels to run into the jungle.
Once he's bleeding, he just starts using that blood parkour!
Okay.
And so that is how you escape this first contest. Not with success, but barely escaping the utter melee that the industrial port has turned into behind you. Now, by normal rules, at least one of you has to succeed in order to get rewards from a contest. But I'm going to count Quincy's successful role as being able to get you guys something with which to move forward with. And so we'll go through that after we wrap up this node. So you follow behind Quincy and the rebels as they run deep into the jungle. You immediately get the impression of a fever swamp that is just a misery of buzzing flies and cloudless heat from the sun. Treacherous fucking hiking conditions.
Sebastian's long, luxurious, striking hair is just matted to the side of his face, obscuring his vision. What a time not to have hairnet.
I'm going to be honest, man. You're a boon companion, but looking at you is just disconcerting.
I have 2 mortal enemies now. In addition to Goose, I now want to kill man in construction hat. Who shot to my knee.
Like a specific man or just...
All construction hat men. Take me to Australia. I will murder men at work.
Gentlemen, now's not the time for petty grievances. Do you know where we are? We're in the jungle, baby. We're gonna die.
Thank you for that.
I mean, we probably are, but when you put it like that, it sounds awesome.
Well, would you like a squeaker nug?
I don't know.
Well, when you bite them, they pop. Shut the fuck up. It's true.
Hold on, wait, you don't swallow whole?
No, I would chew. It's going to come out weird.
I'm going to see if these other people have any food.
Yeah.
That's when Quincy turns around and says, "Yes, you are in the jungle, but you're not lost. We at least know where you are." So she pauses as you take shelter in kind of a thicket off the beaten path. And she says, "I believe we've got enough cover for now. I'm Quincy. I'm the one that's trying to lead at least some form of resistance against Abthorpe and his jackboots.
What's your real name?
It's Quincy.
My nickname for you will be Butterscotch.
I mean, that's fine. You can call me whatever you want, as long as you help the rest of us who are just trying to get home.
Is there medicine for me at home?
There probably is. I mean, you seem to have a problem that's fairly clear as to what needs to be fixed. I don't know which part of you to look at.
My hand's fucked.
I'm pretty all right.
I mean, I am shot in my knee. It bleeds the parkour, like Lincoln said.
Yeah, I'm bleeding, but I'm just glad we're all here.
Yes, I see that. Well, the only reason we're here is because you at least gave us enough of a distraction. I thought you might be able to come rescue us from the industrial port when you first showed up and stood toe-to-toe with Abthorpe for a moment, but then it all went to shit, and you at least gave us enough of a distraction to get ourselves out.
That was our original plan, yes.
I'm sure it was.
Quinsard.
I don't know how much of my rebellion is going to survive the battle back there, but I can at least give you a couple of pieces of equipment just for showing up and evening the odds, I guess. And she motions to one of her compatriots, and he hands over one M870 shotgun and 3 survival gear kits. That's about a quarter of the available rewards from the industrial port, but that's all I'm going to give you since you.
Should we rock mouse goose for this?
Well, I think it makes sense if we divide it evenly. Say one person take the shotgun and the other 2 split up the shells. And they carry the shells.
Not a bad idea. I will take it on Fridays, Tuesdays, any federal holiday.
Oh, well, I was kidding, man. You can take it and the bullets.
Oh, as a nuclear physicist, I believe I am best equipped to kill with shotguns.
All right.
Excuse for me, Miss Butterscotch. But
Yes, what?
You are a rebel, yes?
Yes.
And you are rebelling not just against, I'm assuming, the Abthorpe.
Yes, that's all I'm rebelling against. That's all there is to rebel against on this island.
You mean there is not like, how can say, big goose?
Oh, is there an Omega goose we have not seen yet?
Correct.
Oh, yes, laying eggs with its velocipopter.
For like the goose who brought us all here.
Oh, mother goose. Yes.
After the things I've seen on this island, I won't rule anything out, but no, I have not seen any master goose like what you speak of.
God is a duck.
Maybe so.
No.
I question all faith after being on this island. I'm just trying to get home. And you can tell from the way she speaks and by her cadence as she says it, just like Abthorpe had one of these notable traits of absolute authority, which makes him more dangerous if he's surrounded by his alliance, Quincy is desperate to make it home. She has no love for this place. You can tell by the way she speaks to the other 2 rebels that are with her that she has no personal connection to any of these people. She is simply trying to organize enough of a collective and enough connection with other people to try and survive this challenge and make it home. And she says, listen to me. 20 paces up into the jungle, you'll find a pickup truck that's been abandoned. We haven't been able to do anything with it, but it's sitting on the edge of a clearing that leads to 3 paths. I have gathered my rebellion and those that have been kind enough to join with us on the other side of the island near the Lighthouse Peninsula. There's an abandoned subdivision of manufactured homes. We call it the Sanctuary. We haven't finished clearing all the houses and trying to find equipment. You're welcome to try and meet us there before the end of Phase 1. We stand a better chance of surviving if we work together.
What is this Phase 1 you speak of?
Well, all I know about Phase 1 is that it's our chance to gather what we can before Phase 2 starts.
We don't know shit except we got a letter and we're dressed like dicks.
Well, I got the letter too, but mine discussed doing all we could to survive through Phase 1 because when Phase 2 starts, everyone starts killing each other.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
You are a veterinarian?
Yes.
Do you have access to goose poison? Like when goose need to be put down.
I think what you're describing is just poison.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you have a way to bring these mice back to life?
I'm leaving now.
I don't
She
know.
motions to the 2 rebels, and they disappear into the jungle.
I just like to feel them wriggle when I'm chewing.
I hope to see you at the Sanctuary later, but if not, I'm not entirely sure you're an asset yet, so Godspeed.
He hisses. Snake mode.
done with snake mode.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, I think she's right. we may not be assets.
That remains to be seen.
Wait, ass hats?
Right.
Oh,
Disagree, good sir.
assets.
So
And all I want to do is scoop the ice creams and kill Goose. And now I'm here and I have no knee.
Todd's like fucking Tom Cruise and Cocktail.
All right, man. Well, let's go check out this truck. We'll see if we can get it running.
Not the first time you've said this.
No. That's really just my typical Saturday.
So 20 paces up, you do indeed find an abandoned pickup truck.
What's it taste like?
Literally sound like my daughter. As you make your way through the jungle, you start to realize that these aren't just beaten dirt jungle paths that you're walking. These are overgrown roads that snake all around the island the way normal roads do. And you kind of realize this island used to be something habitable.
Are we going to come across a half-buried Statue of Liberty?
Well, from the vantage point of the truck, you can see a few locations around you. A cursory look over the truck, there's nothing wrong with it, but it has no battery. And you're going to have to find one first if you're going to be able to use it to traverse the island. Once you have that capability, the options available to you for like how many different nodes you can travel to from one contest are going to get greater. So right now, I'm only going to give you the nodes that are connected to where you're currently at.
Okay.
If you get a vehicle, I'm going to kind of widen your field of vision a little bit. So from this vantage point, from where the truck is, it's kind of on a hill overlooking a couple of different geographical features. Down in a valley, you can see what looks like just a residential house. There is a river that is pretty rough, but does look like it carves kind of a passage through the jungle toward a vastly open area where it looks like you can see the remnants of what used to be or still is some sort of urban environment. And on a hilltop, off in a completely different direction, you can see a radio tower blinking up at the top of a small hill. So those are kind of your options as of this point, where you'd like to go next.
Let me ask you this. As a nuclear engineer, I could probably find some shit to fashion into a battery. I think I've got the know-how to do that, if we could find the equipment.
That's yeah, if you could find the equipment. That's what everything hinges on.
Right. Well, I'm thinking the radio tower probably isn't going to have battery-making gear. So the options are there's a house and then like an industrial area on the other side of a river. Was it?
Well, the river's definitely not.
Oh.
There is a house, but you're telling me the blinking radio tower isn't going to have any electronics?
Well, I don't know how many like small boxes they have. That's the number one thing we need to find.
Small boxes?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's where batteries live.
That's what they're built on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you just got to put juice in them.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
You
Yeah.
fill them with lemon juice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boxes of grapefruits that have been soaked in lemon juice.
Spit, squig, venom.
Or I'm sorry, Powerade.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am looking at this city urban place and wondering if there is perhaps AutoZone.
But well,
There might be, but you got to get through the whitewater first.
let me ask you this. This truck before us, does it look like we could remove the bed and use it as a crude raft? I mean, is this like a F-250 or is it like one of those little cute Toyotas people used to have where they would write Toy Yoda and have a little Yoda in the back?
Maybe it has one of those plastic inserts in the bed that would just pop out.
Oh, with bed liner.
Yeah.
Has it got that, Austin? Yeah.
No, it does not.
Fuck.
Well, I think you should check your book because plastic bed liners are pretty popular on tropical islands.
Kind of true. Can we look in the truck and see if there's a tire changing kit?
You can.
Okay.
There's not.
Fuck. So we can't float across on a tire.
I'm going to go ahead and let you know. Don't waste time on this truck. You can see if you can find what's going to make it effective, but outside of that, you don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
My vote is for go to radio tower.
Okay. We had a vote.
What?
Let's go.
All right, so you start hiking through the jungle toward the radio tower.
I do not want to go across white water with shot knee might see goose.
I'm just afraid of him drowning, and I wouldn't know how to save him because I don't know what side of his head to keep above water. I want to stay away from it.
When you get shot in the knee, did it blow your kneecap on to the other side as well?
He's got reversed. Yeah, he's got
That's
one.
how his body just responds to trauma.
Right, yeah.
He's got one reversed leg now.
I am completely in that like ballet position where one foot is straight and the other one is like at a 90-degree angle.
He's like those morphing action figures that the head flips over into something else.
It's like the mortal enemy of the goose, the flamingo.
So just for make conversation on trip, anybody have least favorite golfer?
Least favorite.
I have least favorite
Well.
golfer, South African Retief Goosen.
I see, yes.
I was going to say Lenny Dykstra.
Golf was created by the Vatican to make us walk too far to play a game.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Pope is a dragon.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Like that's like some secret cult rank? Or he is a literal lizard?
He has the blood of dragon in him. It lives through him. It squawks at night.
I see.
The fire he breathes is the fire of the damned.
Is that why smoke is white when they choose new one?
It's exactly why the smoke is white. Because the baby they hatched spits up for the first time. Yes.
I honestly am confused why we not have like 5 million followers now.
It's a colicky baby dragon that
I did not know this was how deep the rabbit hole went.
debate me.
I just assumed it was standard corruption. Like,
I mean, prove me wrong.
you know, like smuggling drugs or land grab schemes.
They do that.
Money laundering,
God is evil.
sharing syphilis needles. You know, weird rich guy stuff.
Yeah, well,
So you walk up on the radio tower.
yes.
Oh, thank God.
Well, I think that was like just a fascinating like traveling montage of the different things. You know, just what normal people talk about.
Absolutely. That's a Royale with cheese conversation.
Moving
right, there.
right
That's exactly what
along, footloose and fancy free.
So you come up on this 60-meter tower.
Does it say Void AM on it?
Nah.
Oh.
Preview.
It says BQP. Tower of latticed orange and white steel, topped with an antenna array. It stands atop the tallest mountain on Island 1. You look around and you realize you're at the highest peak.
Which is like 35 feet on this island. Let's be.
It actually does give you a little bit of an advantage because you've got kind of a panoramic view over the island. So everybody, mark 1d8 advantage. We're going to call it reconnaissance. That can be used during the scout stage of phase 2.
So a D8 for recon.
Yeah.
Oh, smart, Todd. Right, recon. I was trying to spell reconnaissance over here. Like a fool.
I just spelled reconnaissance on.
Okay, college.
But as you're looking around, you hear muffled voices coming from a shed attached to the radio tower. And you see 3 guys huddled around a table counting out ammunition. And when you get closer, one of them stands up and you recognize him. Oi, what are you doing here? And it's the one with the name tag that says, "Hello, my name is Beckett." And he snaps the whip.
Morgan looks down at his hand and looks up at the whip and looks down at his hand and up at the whip and says, Beckett.
Now, hold on. It might be a different guy.
Oh, yes, he could have stolen Beckett's name and tag.
Yeah.
And his whip.
I'm only going to ask again, what are you doing here?
Morgan raises the shotgun.
Oh, okay. This is how we're going to do this?
It's Deathmatch Island.
Okay.
We're here to do.
Okay. That's all there was to that? Got it. So you're going to take on Beckett and his wild cards, this tiny little group of con men he's got at his disposal. Morgan is obviously going to be using Deathmatch
Okay,
if you're using the shotgun, right?
sure.
Okay. That's immediately going to make this contest dangerous for you.
Okay,
Anytime you use an acquisition that's a weapon, a contest becomes dangerous.
which means I don't get fatigue, I get injuries. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So, Todd, what's your plan?
I'm going to use a trust. It says when you use trust, ask the other player to block fatigue or injuries for you.
Okay.
I would like my injury blocked for this little skirmish.
Okay.
So can I use trust as well, like at any time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you may.
Can I use a trust to ask Lincoln to bolster me,
Sure.
which means to add a copy of their name to my dice pool, giving me another D6, I assume.
Yes, you may.
Okay.
And so that means when you're building your dice pool, just keep in mind, you get not only your D6 for your name, but his D6 as well.
Okay.
Since Morgan has the gun, I will rip off the bottom of my plum shirt so that now it's not only like open all the way down to my mid chest, but now it is also essentially a halter top.
Ooh,
Yeah.
showing off that six pack.
Showing off the abs.
Yeah.
And
Which are also on the left.
I was going to say his belly button was.
Shifted over.
got hit by a turtle whilst taking a dip.
And ask Lincoln to tie my knee off so that, I can participate in the
Of course.
melee.
All right, so I will specify, Todd, since I think I see where you're going, that works great. You can do that anyway, just for color. Now, the harm that will be blocked for you is any future harm.
Oh, gotcha.
So if you're spending a point of trust with Morgan and asking him to block harm for you, what will happen is if you happen to fail this contest and suffer harm, he gets to narrate how he protects you from that.
Okay. Well, then, in that case, since he has the gun, I will, instead of spending a trust with Lincoln, I will spend a trust with Morgan to block any additional harm to my already injured torso.
Okay. And then, Corey, you're spending a point of trust with Lincoln to bolster you.
Correct.
So, Todd, what are you planning on doing during this encounter?
I'm going to play my social game, which is my D8. I can build my dice pool by adding a fatigue, correct?
Yes. So you can spend a point of fatigue to add a second capability to it. So essentially, you're just giving yourself a higher chance of success.
Okay.
But mechanically, what you're doing is really kind of adding in a second skill to fall back on, essentially. So if you're trying to talk your way out of something and it doesn't work, maybe you've got your gun in your hand.
Well, I'm going to also use snake mode.
Oh, I see.
Okay. What my plan is now, and I do get a D6 for my name, correct? That's what
we'll build dice pools in full after we have the whole plan laid out.
Okay,
and work
well-
with each one of you.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. We just came through the jungle. Like I said, Sebastian's long, luxurious, striking hair is matted to the side of his face, so you can't really see his face. It's hidden. And so what he's going to do is he is going to step forward and he's going to grab his hair and whip it around to the back, thereby exposing his face, which hopefully will shock them just at least a split second and give Morgan a chance to get the drop on them with the shotgun.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is social game.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll allow that. That's great. I'm always down for using anatomy to scare people.
Wait for it till they get a load of me.
So, Kyle, what's Lincoln up to?
Corey, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to support you.
Okay. I'm used to this from you.
So take you don't have to spend the trust because I essentially sit out the contest, but I get a trust with you.
Okay.
I get a new follower, and I give you my capability die to roll.
Okay.
So, yeah, what's happening is instead of bolstering, which requires a character to actually be participating in a contest, instead of giving Corey his name die, what Kyle's going to do is sit out of the contest, forfeit any rewards that he might get, but also be safe from fatigue and harm. But in supporting, he's going to give Corey his capability die, which is higher value than his name die. And he actually gains a point of trust with Morgan rather than anybody having to spend one.
And a new follower.
Yeah, you get 10,000 more followers.
Because of my rolling, I roll forward to topple their feet while throwing the plum shirt in their face, distract.
I see.
So he literally just throws himself bodily into this crowd and then is then going to wait.
Barrel blood parkour.
I'll allow it.
So you essentially are flopping down
Yeah.
and rolling it? Okay.
Just
cool.
like we practiced.
We did not.
I was off that day.
All right, so that's the plan for everybody. So now we're going to build up our dice pools. Kyle is obviously not going to be rolling anything. Corey, I'm going to say you've been around these kind of standoffs before because you're a nuclear engineer.
Sure.
This is a world in which someone's tried to hijack your nuclear facility before, I'm sure. So, yeah, we're going to keep that D6 in there for you as well. So you'll have those two D6 from your name and occupation. And then you've got your deathmatch capability die, which is what, D6?
Correct.
And now you've got Kyle's capability die for deathmatch.
I was assuming challenge beast.
Oh, okay. So then you'll get his D8.
Okay.
And, oh, yeah, you're using your acquisition.
My shotgun, yes.
Yep. And that's going to be a D4.
Well, and can I use my advantage? I've killed before and I will kill again.
Oh, absolutely. I think this
Okay.
qualifies. But you got to mark that and you can't use it again.
Got it.
All right.
What does that give me dice-wise?
Well, that's the fun part. I get to decide that.
Okay. Well, surely being a trained killer, I'd get something crazy good.
So the value of an advantage die depends on how well it applies to the situation,
Hey.
ranging from D6 up to D10. Now, this is not Morgan's absolute wheelhouse combat because obviously that's not your occupational skill. So I'm not going to give you a D10, but I will give you a D8.
Okay.
Because of the murders?
Yeah, because having experienced killing someone before.
Well, it was basically all the waste I dumped into town water supplies over the years.
Yeah.
All right, so Corey, run us through what all you're rolling.
So I have 3d6, a d4, and 2d8.
Okay. Now that D4 is for your shotgun, so keep it separate because that's going to get added to whatever your ultimate total is.
Okay.
Todd, what all are you rolling?
I am rolling my social game, which is a D8.
Yeah.
My name die, which is a D6.
Yeah. You're using social game, so that means your occupation also applies, so you get another D6.
And taking a fatigue, using fatigue to add an additional capability, which
Okay.
in this case will be snake mode.
Okay. All right. So that's going to be another D6. Using any advantages?
Not at the moment.
Okay. All right. So you've got your dice pool figured.
Yes.
I will be rolling Beckett's con artist for the group of cons that he's gathered around him. His fearless trait, which is a D10, and slippery, which is a D8. Ooh, those are both 5s. So plus the danger level, that means the target number is only a 9.
Okay.
So you guys go on and roll. And once you roll, just make sure you're adding up the 2 highest, and then Corey, you're adding in the result of whatever your D4 for the shotgun is.
Okay. My 2 highest are a 4 and a 5, so 9.
Plus your shotgun.
The shotgun, I rolled a 4 in the d4.
Okay, so that's a total of 13.
Okay.
My 2 highest are a 7 and a 5 for a total of 12.
Nice. So then it is a success. So, Corey, you rolled highest, so you are quote unquote best here.
Well,
I think the shotgun is the best.
Kyle, we're going to count you as rolling the lowest, and then we'll cut back and forth between you guys and the NPCs. Why don't you narrate first what happens after you barrel roll into these assholes?
They jump back, startled and bewildered, and just let me roll through them.
they just kind of step aside.
Yeah. But it draws their attention, which gives my compatriots time to act, which is the entire plan. And as Lincoln rolls by, ha, you fell for it, the old dirty skunk up a sock ploy.
The one we all know and love.
Yeah.
So Beckett readies himself with the whip, and you see the 3 thieves behind him raise pistols, but there's suddenly a bowling sound effect as Lincoln just rolls into these fucking dudes, and they all stumble back. It knocks the table over. Ammunition goes flying everywhere. In the confusion, Lincoln actually gets twisted up in Beckett's whip and yanks it out of his hands. Todd, what's Sebastian doing?
Gentlemen, behold! And he whips the hair out of his face, and instead of seeing a face, they just see a jaw with the face off to the side.
Oh no! I didn't.
We're familiar by this point.
I didn't know the jaw stayed.
Although Beckett is not. As soon as Sebastian steps forward, Beckett is already startled from having the whip yanked out of his hand, but when he looks up, he sees this faceless wonder staring at him from amongst this cascading beautiful hair of a romance novel model. Beckett screams as he stares at the bizarre entity in front of him and backs away with such frenetic fearfulness that he doesn't see the cliff behind the radio tower, and all of a sudden rocks begin to crumble at his feet as he steps off the rocky edge, and screams all the way down as he plummets to his death.
That man has feelings just because his face is different. I'm glad you're dead.
Unfortunately, this has happened many times at ice cream shop.
Should not have put it on a cliffside.
I don't know what was thinking.
His little band of thieves are already looking a little worried. And they turn. They still had their guns in their hands, but now they're facing a skinny little nuclear engineer with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Corey?
Yes.
You want to take it home?
Morgan cocks the shotgun and screams, "My forked tongue can taste your souls!" and unloads at them.
Oh, no. Okay. He mows down 2 of them before the third one can manage to extricate himself from the battle and run screaming into the jungle.
Do you know a skinny nuclear engineer with a shotgun is the opponent in Rocky 9?
So you guys have successfully captured the location known as the radio mast.
I think we just stay here, fellas. We grow potatoes.
Then we hang out, maybe use radio to get some yacht rock.
I could open up a battery shop.
Sure.
Well, you could, Corey, because you find inside the shed next to the radio tower a car battery.
Nice. Just one?
Yep.
Okay.
It's got in marker that written on it, it says, "For the truck."
Okay.
Well, that's of no use to us.
And you also find what the thieves left behind. Ammo and 3 Walther P99 semi-automatic pistols.
Dibs.
There's one for each.
Yes, but what if I had all of them? And how cool it would look. Striking fear.
Look at my face.
I have dead baby mice.
And you find 2 packs of climbing gear.
The 2 climbing,
You take it.
you sure?
Yeah.
You're the one always shouting parkour.
Well, I don't need it.
I'll take.
True.
not how
He
parkour
can
works.
leap like a mountain goat, can he?
Yeah.
As you begin gathering the supplies, you hear a screech of static and look up to see yet another tower with one of the tube TVs and loudspeakers attached to it. And the snowy static on the screen evaporates, and you see once again the gas masked figure of the host on the screen.
I call him Gassy Joe.
Notice to all competitors, you won't get followers if you're always following. TM. And speaking of which, each one of you, the danger level for the radio tower itself is just 3. So, Todd, you and Corey mark 3 notches on your followers. You just gained 30,000 followers.
Hell yeah.
The little watch devices on your wrist suddenly spit out your new follower count,
I'm an influencer.
along with a little smiley face.
So Morgan doesn't notice this because Morgan is furiously using the truck battery to try to spark one of the dead mice back to life.
You didn't bring any of the dead mice.
I've got him. I got a sack full of them. It's canon.
So you guys are now just a little bit more well-equipped, standing at the base of this radio tower, looking out over the panoramic view of the island. And you now have, not only because of the truck, do you have a little bit farther reach, but because you're able to see out in front of you, I'm also going to give you a little bit more margin for where you'd like to go next. To the south of you, you can see a ravine that leads down into a path that eventually becomes a road leading to a small fishing village. Almost directly to the west of you, you can see what looks like the subdivision that Quincy was talking about earlier, the sanctuary. Between the fishing village and the sanctuary, somewhere in a deep wilderness amongst a few hills, you can just see a mysterious blinking light. And then to the northwest of you, you can see a stack of apartment blocks. Close by to that is a crashed plane, which is bound to have a few supplies in it, as well as the house that you saw earlier. Now that you've got a vehicle, you can probably circumnavigate the Whitewaters. And of course, in the far distance, you can see the lighthouse off at the end of the peninsula. But before we leave the radio tower, I'm also going to throw a wild card in and roll for one piece of redacted gear that you guys are going to find. You found a piece of communication equipment, and although this is not in and of itself a restricted area, I'm going to say that it is involved with production's day-to-day operations, and therefore, I'm going to roll this D20 and pull a piece of equipment off the sheet. Along with the car battery in the shed, Corey, I'm going to say you found this. you found a cryptographic code book.
Okay.
And it's one of those old-fashioned ones that you can tell had sheets torn out of it. It was one of those cipher of the day type of code books. This doesn't contain any coded messages in and of itself. It's just the key to a code that you might run across at some point.
Interesting. What do you think, Mr. Christopher? He looks down to his resurrected mouse.
Damn it. No. I'll allow it. Add it to the equipment.
Okay.
Add it to the redacted
Well,
equipment.
if we're going with that, can he resurrect many of them and sew
No,
them?
you just get the one.
No, hear me out.
I will not.
He creates a mouse whip. He sews them together. Here's the thing: they can bite at you.
I will allow you to, amongst your redacted equipment, mark down one Frankenstein mouse.
Okay, Mr. Christopher, got it. Based on some patron named Christopher, Chris Douglas.
There you go.
Hey!
The one we have the most of.
You're now a once dead mouse.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Mr. Christopher looks up and goes,
I'm gonna be honest, man. You should probably just kill that little guy. I mean, he don't look like he's doing okay.
I only need find a soul for him.
Oh, God.
All right.
All right, so amongst those locations, you've got a pretty good vantage point where you can kind of see lots of different key locations across the island. Where do you think you guys would like to go next?
A truck with battery.
Yep.
Of course, and once you get there.
Blinking light in the middle of the jungle.
Okay.
Agree.
All right, so you guys are headed for a restricted location now, and we'll see what happens when they get there next time.
All right.
On Deathmatch Island. Shika.
That's the sound Christopher makes.
That ain't the only one.
That's when the soul enters him.
Well, the other one is just,
That was fun, and I think one of our more serious gameplays. Nothing really dumb happened.
Yeah, it was cool.
No, not at all. Not at all. I do think we've started to gain a little momentum with this one. This one's a little bit complicated, and there's a lot to it, but this episode's the one where we really kind of hit our stride.
Well, yeah, we're all armed now. We got stuff. We can start fucking shit up.
Yeah, seems like a lot of the complication is on the game master side too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, there's a whole lot of impetus on me to really improvise what each and every scene is going to be like, because there's really no way for me to plan out exactly what's going to happen. In keeping the spirit of the game alive, I can't really make anything too linear for you.
Right.
So yeah, each scene is kind of what it turns out to be. I'm rolling for quite a lot,
right.
Honestly. Corey's editing a lot of this out, but there are times where I have rolled randomly for which cast member you encounter and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, thank God you've got those dice from NorseFoundry.com.
Hey!
Hey! NorseFoundry.com, they have all manner of dice and all manner of materials, plus lots of sweet merch. Make your purchase, and when you're at the checkout, be sure you enter promo code CHAM. That's CHAM, CHAM.
This month, check out their mice dice.
Yeah, I was about to say, the other day I got a new shipment in, and it was clearly a dead mouse that had numbers written all around it.
That wasn't Norse Foundry. I sent you that.
Oh.
That was your Christmas present. That mouse was alive. Curse you, Postal Service.
It was alive on December 24th.
You got it from China. These damn tariffs are just...
Yeah.
Also, thank you to our sponsor, Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway Street in beautiful downtown Paducah, right there on the banks of the Ohio River.
There's a blinking light in the bathroom. And as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for following us. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for engaging with us on Discord or Patreon or social media or wherever the fuck you talk to us.
The Discord bathroom is getting weird lately. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah.
Wait, which room is the Discord bathroom?
I don't want to talk about what Smathicus was doing in there.
Thank you very much. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.